and it's dumped the distance by the Kings. Carlisle and Marois at the points. Veteran penalty killer Bob Bourne out there with Phil Sykes. Also Ledyard and Hardy round up the penalty killing brigade. Marois gives it to Boschman over the Kings line. Boschman down into the corner, puts it behind the net, tried to center, and Sykes checked by Howard-Chuck. Howard-Chuck behind the net to Boschman, into the corner to Howard-Chuck, behind the net to Boschman. McLean moves in front. Boschman back to the point to Marois. Into Carlisle, now to Howard-Chuck, back to the blue line. Carlisle, a shot blocked by Sykes. Carlisle gets it again, pokes it in behind the net to McLean. McLean into the corner to Howard-Chuck, a minute left in the penalty. Howard-Chuck to McLean, a shot, Melanson the save. Boschman behind the net. Boschman to Howard-Chuck, the shot, Melanson the save. Bourne comes up with a rebound and dumps it the distance. Back goes Carlisle. Behind the net, watched by Gay. On the right side, here's Freddie Olesen to center ice, gets up across the Kings line. He's smacked by the Shane. Olesen goes after it, puts it into the other corner for Amell. Back to the point, Ellett. Back for Amell, along the boards in the Kings zone. 22 seconds in the penalty. Back to the point, here's Ellett. Over now to the other point, Howard-Chuck shot. Melanson the save. Gay dumps it all the way down the ice. Back for it goes Ellett. 8 minutes and 5 seconds gone in the second period. 2-0. The Jets lead the Kings. Olesen gives it away to Dion, then wrapped the veteran King up. It's poked in behind the Jet net. Ellett around for Amell. Amell gets outside the zone. His pass to center ice to Steen. Dumped into the Kings zone. Kennedy as the penalty to the Kings is over. Here comes Williams with it now. In across the Jet line. Dumps it in wide. Erickson puts it into the corner. Dion after it there. Leaves it now for Williams. Williams lets the shot go. Reddick the save. And there's going to be a cross-checking penalty. Now, Dion is shoved by Marois, and Williams moves in to have a word with Marois. Neufeld also does a little jawing with Williams, and Kite hovers nearby with Erickson. But Marois will go off for cross-checking.
So the Jets will be shorthanded. They lead by 2-0. This is Jets hockey from the Winnipeg Arena on 58 CKY.
Not warring affairs.
58 CKY, Winnipeg.
So the Jets will be shorthanded. The Kings again with the #1 power play will get the man advantage.
You know, it's interesting, Perry, that you pointed it out. The first shot on goal the Kings had this period was by goaltender Ole Melanson when he cleared it out. The second shot on goal they had this period was when they were shorthanded from deep in their own zone. And that's where it stands. Well, they've had one more shot, pardon me. Shots 18-10 to this point of the hockey game in favor of the Jets, who lead 2-0.
Hartford leads 2-1 at Washington, Kurt. That's after 2. Gavin with his 16th. John Anderson with his 17th.
Here's Ron Wilson. In across the Kings line. Lets it go wide. Ledyard missed it. Now Kite goes back to his own line. Puts it into his corner now to Carlisle. Blasts it off the glass. That's cut off by Erickson. Erickson puts it back outside the zone. Wilson goes after a loose puck. He's hooked. There's going to be a penalty, and that could almost have been a penalty shot.
Mark Hardy. Well, the reason he won't get a penalty shot, he never had control of the puck. But certainly Curt, he could have got control of it had he got loose. And it will be a hooking call against Mark Hardy. But the speed again of a guy like Ronnie Wilson that time, or a Doug Smale causing the penalty.
5, Mark Hardy, 2 minutes for hooking. Time of the penalty, 9:09.
And if Hardy hadn't hauled him down, Ron Wilson was home free on the breakaway. So now both clubs a man short. 1:34 left in Marois' assessment.
In the Washington game at the Capitol Center, Mike Gardner has scored his 23rd, but it's 2-1 Hartford in the third. Minnesota has tied Detroit at 3 in the third. Larry DePalma has scored. Earlier, Yzerman with his 20th, Gallant with his 26th came in a power play, and Klima with his 20th. The North Stars at 2 in the first period. Cicerelli's 41st, and Brook his 7th.
Now Ellett has to go back to center for it. Gives it to Olesen. Jets have Howard-Chuck and Steen up front. Ellett and Olesen are back. Here's Howard-Chuck, winds to center ice, gets to the Kings line, moves to the outside, dropped it off. Elliott moves in front, doesn't shoot, goes behind the net. They scored. Somehow the puck wound up in the net.
Davey Elliott's going to get credited with the goal. He just took it around behind the net. The goaltender kept turning with him until Davey was between the goaltender and the net, but behind it, he put it out in front, and Duchesne slapped it into the net like he was trying to put it through the net. He was not only clearing it, but I don't think the goaltender would have had a chance if, in fact, he was in the net.
That is a Lars Lindgren clearing pass. Remember that? Lars Lindgren?
It was a shot about just as hard, too.
Yeah, he drilled it right into the net from the crease, trying to clear it away.
Heck of a shot.
So Davey Ellett continue his string, a goal in 3 straight games now.
Well, Dave Ellett didn't shoot when he should have.
10th of the season, scored by number 2, Dave Ellett.
But Duchesne finished the job for him anyway.
The goal unassisted at 9:31.
So it's 3-0 Winnipeg. They're still at 5 aside. Olesen gives it to Carlisle. Gets up to his own line. Then dumps it all the way down the ice. Howard-Chuck and Ledyard race back for it, and it's icing Winnipeg.
What I was referring to, Kurt, you may have remembered, you probably do, but for the hockey fans that are listening, the Vancouver Canucks a few years ago were really struggling. They went into Edmonton. They were leading 4-3. Late in the game, Brodeur had stood on his head, and much similar play. It came out in front. Lars Lindgren spun to clear it away, and he drilled it by Brodeur.
It was right off the face-off with 12 seconds to go.
Bingo, tie game.
The game was on Hockey Night in Canada. The Vancouver Canucks won the face-off.
Back to Lindgren in his own net.
What are you laughing at, Charles? Here's Galley, lets it go. The save by Reddick. Now Wilson along the boards. Puts it in deep to Carlisle. His pass on the right wing. Wilson sends it over to Boschman. Up to center ice. Gets to the Los Angeles line. Boschman dropped it up. Waters right in front. And he dumped it wide. Now Ledyard gets it out to center. They're still at 5 aside, and the Jets have been enjoying all the extra ice. Waters now at the point. Dumps it in here. Smale puts it out in front. Carlisle alone. He fired it wide. Now Smale with it. It's a shooting gallery. Smale's shot is blocked. Into the corner, Fox puts it along the boards. Nichols gets it rink wide. Wilson keeps it in at the blue line. Here's Dougie Smale and on goal alone. The save, Melanson. Now Waters keeps it in at the point. Knocked away from him by Fox. Miroir steps out of the penalty box. The Jets now have a man advantage. Waters' pass goes off Wilson, and it's sent out by the Kings. But the Jets had the Kings in total disarray in their own zone. Jets lead it 3-0. Here's Olesen. Gets to center ice, gets to the Kings line. Knocked away from him by Duchesne. Duchesne puts it along the boards. McKenna dumps it out. Ellett has it at center and out of the penalty box. Comes Mark Hardy. Here's Turnbull in across the Los Angeles line. Check. McKenna gets it ahead to center now to Hardy. His pass for Bourne. Has to go into the corner after it. Bourne against Ellett. Now Turnbull and McKenna wrap it up along the boards. And play is called.
8:29 left of the second. The Jets with Ellett's unassisted goal lead by 3-0. Jets hockey from the Winnipeg Arena on 58 CKY.
8:25 left in the second period. 3-0. Winnipeg leading the first half of a doubleheader. They'll go back at it Sunday afternoon at 2:30. Here's Steen. Gives it to McBain and across the Kings line. And Mill goes to the goal. McBain in deep. The shot. Melanson the save. And Duchesne gets it ahead to Gay. At center ice on the right side, here's Carson. Down in deep. Carson tried to center. Knocked away by Kite. Back to the blue line. Kennedy shot. A wicked drive picked out of the air by Pokey Reddick. Now Carson and Kite do some shoving. And Amel has Robitaille wrapped up.
Jimmy Kite started pushing Carson around, and quickly the Kings came to his aid. They don't want the young fella to go up against a guy like Jimmy Kite, and there will be penalties on the play. 7:56 left in the second period. Perry Miller's Detroit Red Wings have gone back in front 4-3 late in the third, hosting Minnesota tonight. It's 3-1 Hartford in the third at Washington. This is Jets hockey live on the Voice of the Jets. Each time Paul McLean scores a regular season goal, Acklands is donating $580 to the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation. You can guess how many goals Paul will total up this year at any Acklands location. And predict that. You get a chance to win tickets to Jets home games and also a trip to a Jets playoff game. 3-0 Winnipeg, 5:55 left in the second period. The Friar, along with Perry Miller and John Bertrand of the Sun in the intermission. Well, I see your son had a great seat there for a while. He was up sitting out on the aisleway with Benny, the mascot.
Is that right?
Hey, it was great. I wish he had a camera.
Oh, you'd have enjoyed that.
Well, it's better than listening to his dad, I guess.
Why do you think he's here?
I wish they'd have taken a picture. That was a cute picture. Even a guy who can't see as good as me, I could pick that up.
Off the face-off in the Jet zone. It comes back to the point. Ledyard shot goes wide. It's in behind the net. Now Waters kicks it along the boards. Langevin moves in to the corner. McLean against him. It's still in the Jet corner. 5 players battle for it. It comes loose to Galley. Galley's rink-wide pass went outside the zone, and Bourne goes back for it. Both clubs at full strength. 5.5 minutes left in the second period. The Jets 3, the Kings nothing. Waters gives it to Howardchuk at center. He circles with it there. Howardchuk straight up the middle. Off Rooney, down into the Kings corner. Back for it goes Langevin. Langevin to Bourne. Bourne sidesteps Howardchuk, gets up to the Jet line, trying to cut at the net. His pass goes into the corner. Lukowicz knocked down by McLean. McKenna centers, and Marois goes behind the net. Looks ahead to Howardchuk. Howardchuk goes by Dion a couple of times, then lost it, and Galley has it. Sends it back to the Jet line. Kite for Rooney. Rooney turns around, gives it to Howardchuk. His pass broken up, and Erickson sends it into the Jet zone. Back for it goes Marois. 4.5 minutes left, second period. 3-0. Winnipeg leads. Kite can't get by Dion, right at the Jet blue line. Now Neufeld gets it outside the zone. Hardy dumps it back in, and Marois goes for it. Gets it to center ice for Howardchuk. To Rooney. Up to the Kings line, dumps it into the corner. Out of the goal, Melanson. Leaves it for Galley. Galley now to Hardy. Hardy's pass to Dion. Ahead for Robitaille at center ice to Erickson. Gets it to the Jet line, knocked out, and Hardy goes back to center with it. 4 minutes left in the second period. As things are tightening up. Now Erickson at his own line. Dropped it off for Hardy. Hardy comes to center ice. Gets up to the Jet line. Pass on the left wing to Nichols. He's checked. Olesen dumps it to center. And there's going to be a slashing penalty against the Winnipeg Jets.
3:43 left in the second. The Kings will get the man advantage again. This is Jets hockey from the Winnipeg Arena on 58 CKY.
The game with hundreds of...
The number 2 penalty killing unit has dominated the top power play unit so far in this hockey game. Now Kite dumps at the distance. Back for it goes Galley. Pass on the left side to Williams. Williams pass broken up by Smale. Williams hit by Wilson. Puck goes rink wide right at the Kings line. Wilson hurries Ledyard, who puts it in front of his own goal. Now Williams gets outside the zone, sends it back in, and Melanson comes out to join the power play. Here's Galley. Gets outside the zone to center. On the right side, here's Fox over the Jet line. Moves to the outside. Lets it go. Reddick the skate save. And the rebound. Stopped at the point by Galley. In along the boards now to Nichols. Nichols against Smale. Nichols trying to kick it in front. Marois picks it off, dumps it away.
Seems like LA does have the best power play in the league, but I'll bet you dollars to donuts, but Tiger Williams is not the one that set the record straight.
Here's Galley. Gets in across the Jet line. Now Williams gives it to Fox. Fox at the point. Moves along the boards into the corner. Ellett there. Ellett knocks it loose. Ledyard in from the point. Ledyard looks in front. Centers it. Nichols puts it in front. Fox stripped of the puck by Ellett. He dumps it away. Melanson again away out of the goal. Playing much like Ron Hextall. Ahead for Robitaille. Knocked away, and McBain dumps it in. Melanson leaves it for Duchesne. 30 seconds left in Boschman's penalty. The Kings dump it into the Jet zone, and Waters has it. He rifles it off the boards all the way back. Melanson leaves it behind the net for Ledyard. Ledyard moves out slowly. A pass to Duchesne, to Robitaille. Tip to Dion and across the Jet line. Moving in is Erickson. Checked by Reddick. Now it's centered on in front. And Duchesne touched it before Kennedy got there, or he would have been set up neatly. Here's Dion behind the Jet goal. Dion centers it. It goes off Robitaille. The Jet penalty is over, and it's dumped to center ice. Robitaille gives it to Erickson, offside.
1:29 remaining in the second period. The Jets have killed off four successive penalties, or four penalties that have given the Kings a man advantage. Jets lead 3-0. Jets hockey from the Winnipeg Arena on 58 CKY.
Hi, I'm Paul McLean of the Winnipeg Jets. It's team effort that wins the game. This season, I've teamed with Acklands Limited in support of the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation. JDF receives $580 from Acklands for every goal I score. You can help our team by signing a pledge at any Acklands location in Manitoba. I've scored important goals before, but this year they're all important for the winning efforts of the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation.
Ron and the morning crew get you going. Joe and the captain get you home. On the home of the Winnipeg Jets, 58 CKY.
He scores! Dale Hawerchuk fed off the boards, and as Curt said, Hawerchuk put it from the backhand over to the forehand. Down went Melanson, and it was in behind him. Dale Hawerchuk's 35th of the season, and that is our Alpine goal of the game.
Paul McLean won the battle along the boards just inside the blue line.
Of the season, scored by number 10, Dale Hawerchuk.
Beating Phil Sykes.
The assist, number 15, Paul McLean. And number 9, Doug Smale. Time of the goal, 18:49.
So it's 4-0. The Jets lead it. Dale Hawerchuk reaches number 35.
Alpine car rental goal of the game. Listen to the Jet line tonight with Perry and Mike. You can describe or name the 35th goal by Hawerchuk as the Alpine goal. You'll win a free weekend car rental.
Here's Olesen at center. Dumps it into the King zone. Melanson out of the net, but play has been called. It's offside. Pass. Carson puts it in behind the Jet net, and Olesen has it. 25 seconds left, second period. 4-0 Winnipeg. Held it in the corner. On the left side, Turnbull to center ice to Neufeld with Boschman 2-on-2. Neufeld lets it go. It's wide. Now Turnbull down into the corner. Puts it into the... Gay picks it up, dumps it out to center. 8 seconds left in the second period. It's brought out of the zone now by Galley. His pass to Bourne. Bourne breaking and a goal. The shot, Reddick the save. The rebound knocked away by Carlisle as the period ends on a good save by Pokey Reddick off Bob Bourne.
So the Winnipeg Jets come up with 2 goals in each period and go to the dressing room leading by 4-0. This is Jets hockey from the Winnipeg Arena on 58 CKY.